Charge!
Hey all, Dwarflord here. This is my Season of Discovery Rogue Tank Guide. It is on Warcraft Tavern. I will have a link below if you want to just read the guide, reference it at any time, but I'm going to be going over the content of the guide so you get my beautiful face and my charming voice. Now, I'm going to be playing Rogue Tank because I think it looks cool to dual wield and tank. I'm a warrior main, you might know that, because it's mostly what I play, but I've also dabbled with Rogue a little bit too. With the changes in Season of Discovery, in order to tank, warriors are going to be all sword and boardy. No more Fury Prot. So I'm gonna be Fury Prot by playing a Rogue, basically. Let's go over some of the pros and cons and how this works, in case you haven't been keeping up with the Joneses. If you've ever done some amount of raiding, surely you've experienced the time when a rogue has saved the raid and evasion tanked the boss for long enough to secure a kill. But now rogues are going to be becoming a legitimate tank. They do this with the runes in Season of Discovery. So, quick little build summary here. You get 20% reduced physical damage from the rune Just a Flesh Wound. We're going to go over all the runes, but rogues are primarily an avoidance tank. A lot of dodge, a lot of parry. They're going to be able to have approximately 30+% of each of those. Now, those don't add together. 30% parry, 30% dodge doesn't equal 60%, but it's still a lot of mitigation. I would expect totally fine single target rogue threat. However, AoE threat in phase 1, I think it's going to be pretty bad. Of course, if you've never played a rogue, you're going to be using Sinister Strike to build combo points, deal damage, and we have different other spender abilities of the combo points, which we'll go over, such as the new Blade Dance ability. This comes from a rune, or Slice and Dice for attacking faster. We can also generate combo points with an ability called Main Gauche. We'll be going over what that is. Rogues are going to be somewhat limited by energy regeneration. Right now, a warrior, which is like, Classic's best tank, when they're world buff, when they're pumping, they can have unlimited rage to just spam abilities. Rogues, on the other hand, can go Sinister Strike, and grab a bite of food until you regenerate your energy and you can do another attack. So it's a little bit different. Rogues will have less HP overall and less armor overall. I think rogue AoE threat is going to be really bad in the phase 1. Even tanking 2 mobs is going to be kind of awkward. A warrior can just cleave and tab, sunder, or now devastate, right? But a rogue is going to have to generate a combo point on one enemy, and then they're going to have to use a spender before changing to a new target, or else they'll lose that combo point. So it's a little bit awkward. Let's go over the runes. So the chest wound that a rogue tank must use is Just a Flesh Wound. This is going to give you a taunt by removing the feint spell, which I don't think any rogue has really ever used. The feint spell, that is. But it's going to allow you to have huge threat gen, damage reduction, and also crit immunity by reducing the critical strike chance that an enemy could have against you by 6%. So monsters basically have a 5% chance to crit, so 6% you're immune to crit. If you use this in PvP, you could still get crit, but you do have a reduced crit chance as well. One thing to note is that the 20% physical damage reduction part of this is while Blade Dance is active, and that is an ability from a different rune. So let's look at what that is. When you have Blade Dance active, a 5-point Blade Dance will be 30 seconds, 10% parry. Obviously, 5-point ability is way better because it not only lasts longer, but it gives you a more parry percentage. In the beginning, though, you might want to use a 1 or 2 point just to get it rolling. But again, we only have so much energy to work with, and you're going to have to sort of decide, am I going to use Blade Dance or Slice and Dice to have mitigation or threat gen? Rogues could also see large damage spikes happen against a particularly hard-hitting boss when Blade Dance falls, because now you're taking essentially 20% more damage. Thistletea will be very important on the opener to generate a lot of threat and get all these moves used and combo points ticking. The final rune option in phase 1 is the gloves. Most likely you'll be using main gouge. This is an offhand weapon damage attack, so it's not going to do quite as much damage, but it is still going to do something, and it's going to increase your parry by 10% for 10 seconds. I believe the cooldown on this ability is about 15 seconds, so you're not going to have 100% uptime on this, but you want to basically use it on cooldown. All of the parry is going to be great for the riposte talent. We're going to go over the talent tree in a second, but this allows you to not only do damage on a short cooldown, but disarm the target, which means less damage taken. If you don't need the parry percentage of the main gouge rune, you could use Saber Strike. This is going to be a stacking dot. It's going to be much more damage. If you're an off tank, you might opt for this. If you're not needing the damage mitigation that the parry is going to offer you, you might just opt for this. But I think most people are going to use main gouge. Here's the talent build. We're going to put 5 points into the improved Sinister Strike. You're going to use Sinister Strike and main gouge a lot, or potentially Saber Slash. This is going to remove 5 energy cost from the ability, taking it from 45 to 40. We get some dodge here, 3 out of 5 for dodge, 5 out of 5 for parry. This allows us to get riposte, or we can do 2 out of 2 endurance to reduce the cooldown of both evasion and sprint. If you don't need that, you could do 5 out of 5 instead of 3 out of 5 precision for more hit chance. It's basically your talent build for phase 1. If you don't know what Sinister Strike is, this is what it does. This is what Slice and Dice does. This is what Eviscerate does. You're probably not going to use Eviscerate too much, but hey, maybe you've got some combo points built up, the boss is about to die, your other abilities are ticking, smash that Eviscerate. Slice and Dice makes you attack faster, and Sinister Strike is an instant damage dealing attack. Riposte, like I said, it's going to disarm the target and do 150% weapon damage. Not too bad for a 10 energy cost. It's great. Of course, teases your taunt ability. Kick is very useful to interrupt nasty spells. As for gear, you're going to do dungeons like Dead Mines. You're going to get different leather gear. If you can, Arena Grandmaster would be amazing, but that's going to be probably a lot of competition for that. Green tinted goggles as an engineer. Engineering, at least in Classic, we don't know so much about SOD. Engineering is amazing for tanking and PvP, but there are some other helmets. This is a item from a rare Alliance spawn, and this is from a Horde only spawn. But it's like level 29 Elite Dwarf, so good luck, Horde. Cruel Barb. Every rogue's going to want this. It's really easy to get. There's a really rare BOE mace that drops from like level 25 enemies. Potentially people can farm or hope to get this to drop, but it's going to be expensive. Race choice for Alliance. Probably at the low level. Human's going to be great with the weapon or sword specialization. Later on, Agrand mentioned that probably those ratios aren't going to be as important, and there's going to be new ways to get weapon skill. Night Elves are cool for the dodge. Escape Artist for a gnome. I'm going to be playing a dwarf because, you know, I'm the dwarf lord. Choose what you want. Horde race, troll for berserking is really the only like meta choice for tanking. Fear, immunity, could be okay with the Forsaken. For Orc, while you're going to do more damage, for 25 seconds you're going to have reduced healing. Probably not the best thing to do for a tank. But if you want Orc for PvP reasons, you could still do it. Anyways, that's my Rogue Tank Guide. I hope you find it to be helpful, and I will see you in a season of Discovery, as well as Classic Era. I'll keep on pumping out raids and all that kind of good stuff in Classic Era. If you enjoyed the video, drop me a sub and a comment. I read and respond to each and every one. Catch me live on my Twitch channel, Dwarf Lord TV, to connect with me or say hi to me in game on any of my characters. Dwarf Lord out.